where the Apostle Paul, who is the apostle to the Gentiles, to the non-Jews, is
It's
bringing all
important.
these non-Jews into become followers of Jesus. And Jesus's actual apostles are annoyed because they say, you can't do this. Jesus was a Jew, and anybody who wants to follow Jesus needs to become a Jew first, and then follow Jesus, because Jesus is coming out of the Jewish root.
He's talking about Acts 15. So just to clarify here, it's possible that some of the 12 would have said this, would have said, no, you have to become Jewish. It may have even been the prevailing view. What we know is that in Acts 15, starting in verse 1, some men came down from Judea and were teaching the brothers, unless you are circumcised according to the custom of Moses, which means becoming Jewish, and we don't have time to get into that right now, but that's what it means, you cannot be saved. And so we don't know exactly who these men are. When we go down to verse 5, we find some believers who belonged to the party of the Pharisees rose up and said, it is necessary to circumcise them and make them Jewish, and to order them to keep the law of Moses. Where the apostles, where all of them fell on this issue, that's not recorded. We know where Paul and Barnabas stood, and Dinesh was right about that. Peter was with them as well, because he had had the encounter with Cornelius by this point, and he knew that Gentiles were being let in. But yeah, this was the problem. Like, this was the central debate in the very early years of the church, which is what these Gentiles coming in, do they have to become Jewish? That's actually, it's in my experience, kind of rare for people to realize just how defining that debate was, and how many of the books of the New Testament really can only be understood in light of that debate, because those are the issues. Like, this is the issue that Paul hammers over and over again in his epistles. So I'm glad that Dinesh D'Souza knows this, and he's bringing this out as like a central issue in the New Testament. If you overlook it, then you read Paul's epistles and you're just pulling nonsense out, because you're not aware of what he's talking about: Jewish identity, Gentile identity in the body of Christ.